on the night watch. Speaking tongues tonight, out there on the night watch.
Hello everyone, Adrian here. So, once again, I am here to share some amazing new goth music with you. This is the current musical project of the legendary William Faith of Faith in the Muse. As you guys know, I am an enormous fan of 90s goth rock, and I love Faith in the Muse, one of my favorite bands ever. So understandably, you can see that I'm excited about any projects that either William Faith or Monica Richards would be involved in nowadays. Anyway, on William Faith, I'd heard through discussing with other goths and browsing on social media regarding new goth music, and I was thrilled to see that a veteran goth musician of the caliber of William Faith is still making music after all this time in the form of the Bellwether Syndicate. I feel like a really bad fan because I lost track of when they were going to be in Seattle back in August, and I couldn't see them live because of my work schedule. I felt so bad. I hate missing out on shows that I've wanted to go to. I would have loved to have seen them live. However, I was happy to see that they followed me on Instagram. That brought me enormous pleasure. As you guys know, I can't tolerate most post-punk music because it just sounds too clunky, noisy, empty, one-dimensional, redundant, stress-inducing, and mumbly. But because of a more complex and cohesive sound that the Bellwether Syndicate produces, I am pleasantly surprised. I really am. The post-punk feel is really concise, catchy, and dancey. Usually most post-punk music, to me anyway, sounds, again, clunky and
la 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 disorganized.
And just seems like any dancing it would induce would just be a full-body dry heave. That's what it seems like to me. I know a lot of you are very familiar with Faith in the Muse, and they've had a very particular brand of gothic rock that was groundbreaking in the 90s. It had an incredible, seductive, mystical, and symphonic quality that I absolutely fell in love with when I discovered them at age 15, 16-ish. And while the Bellwether Syndicate does stray slightly from the epic and symphonic and mystical feel of Faith in the Muse, it is still incredibly unique among the other goth bands out there. The Bellwether Syndicate does retain the same complexity of Faith in the Muse that I really fell in love with. It also moves a little more into the territory of post-punk sounding goth rock with touches and elements of dark wave, which, as you guys know, I love dark wave. It really, really hooked me in and wouldn't let go. Absolutely. It's like The Damned and The Last Dance had a baby, and I just love it. Absolutely love it. I'll go into a little background with the Bellwether Syndicate. Like I stated before, it's fronted by William Faith, formerly of Faith in the Muse, and his lovely wife Sarah Rose, who is DJ Scary Lady Sarah. And in their live shows, they are accompanied by Philly Peroxide on keyboards and percussion, and Mike Skull on bass. Their debut EP, The Night Watch, came out in 2013, and I believe they released another single as well in November 2018 titled Republic. With their debut EP, Night Watch, the title song is really the star of the show. It just made me want to dance even from its first strains in the beginning. It was just so impressive, and it was a real banger. Loved it. The rest of the EP was just so diverse and gave you so many beautiful nuanced layers without straying from the core. From the more chill guitar-based pieces to merciless post-punk anthems, this will appease everyone from old-school goths to baby bats. As a musician myself, there will be a few times when I can pick out at least one thing from a band that I don't like as far as their musical structure is concerned, but it is really difficult for me to specifically pick out something that I don't like with the Bellwether Syndicate. It is just so well put together. So that definitely means they are doing their job incredibly well. Their single from last year, Republic, has a really unmistakable fast-paced post-punk drum pattern with very melodic guitars and underlying deep electronic tones to give it depth, and William's voice just ties it in together so beautifully. I can't really put my finger on it, but this song gave me very David Bowie-esque vibes. It was so good. The intent with the aesthetic and the style of the Bellwether Syndicate is very deliberate, and it doesn't feel haphazardly thrown together. Coming from someone who doesn't like most post-punk, I really love this. Hell, I think anyone who doesn't like post-punk music will enjoy this. And that's not to say that anyone who likes post-punk music won't like it. I'm just saying that it's really inclusive and it's not one-dimensional and empty sounding. So it's really palatable. That's the word I'm looking for. For someone who doesn't like post-punk to say that they really enjoy this, that really just says a lot and is a testimonial to how high quality they are. I'm really impressed with what they've produced thus far, as well as what may come in the future. I see so much potential here, and I can see them generating a lot of excitement across all generations of goths. Again, I'm so glad that you guys have liked what I have been sharing with you as far as new goth music is concerned. I'm thrilled to see how many of you are saying, I trust your taste, I checked out this band, and I loved it, whenever I make a video about new goth bands out there. Go and support the Bellwether Syndicate. They really deserve it. The more you support new goth musicians, the more you'll be keeping the subculture alive, and we desperately need that right now. Tell the naysayers and party poopers to get the fuck out of the way and stop hindering the progress of the subculture when we have amazing stuff like this coming out. Seriously. I mean, anyone who truly loves the subculture won't tell veteran goth bands and musicians that are still touring and making music to just throw in the towel. Right? Right. That is just super counterproductive. I mean, it's a wonderful opportunity for the baby bats who are getting into goth to experience the continuation of the legacy of it, to attend the concerts of goth veterans. For you to hinder that, but then turn around and carry on about how lucky you were to see them back in your day, you're taking that experience away from baby bats in their formative years when they're figuring out who they are and where they belong in this world. Who does that really benefit? The bands? The baby bats? Or does it benefit you? Knock that shit off. Anyway, rant over. Sorry. Just really gets on my nerves. I will leave all the links for the Bellwether Syndicate in the description below so that you can check them out and tell them that I sent you. Follow them on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Bandcamp, and wherever else they may be. So guys, as always, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and follow me on social media, which is linked in the description below. Thank you so much for your support, and thank you to my patrons, Morella Reborn, MJ, and In Ghostly Company. I really, really, really appreciate it. I really do. You guys are amazing. I love you, and I will see you next time.
This world, another passing reflection, a revelation when we meet our eyes. The distance fades. Are you on the night watch?